Thanks for taking time to join us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, as always, emanating from our outstanding studios. And it's my favorite time of the year. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. We're blessed. And Jimmy and Robin Burrow are very blessed. Their son, Joe Burrow, is playing at an extremely high level. There's no question about it. The Cincinnati Bengals are on a roll, 6 games in a row. Jimmy Burrow knows what he's looking at. He knows how well his son is playing. Jimmy Burrow is an accomplished defensive coach at the collegiate level for many, many years. A great player himself at the collegiate level, played in the Canadian Football League. Very, very good defensive back. He knows of what he speaks when he's speaking football. And we had a chance to visit with him and speak football about his son, about the big win last week, about the upcoming game against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. All of that coming your way. Jimmy Burrow. Don't want to miss this one. We appreciate you joining us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics once again. As always, we're bringing it to you from as good a studio as you'll ever find here at First Star Logistics, and we appreciate everybody for providing us with that opportunity. And we certainly do appreciate this gentleman that's joining us right here as our special guest, because he is a special man, and that would be Jimmy Burrow. His son is pretty good football player for the Cincinnati Bengals. Where's number 9? You know, a guy named Joe Burrow is doing pretty well, Jimmy. You got to be proud.
Yeah, it started out the year a little rough, but got the ball rolling, and even Sunday was rough the first half. But you know, they're a resilient group, and they're never out of it, according to them, and that showed on Sunday. So it was a good day.
You know, it is very interesting. You talk about in the early stages of the season, you know, Joe's a competitor. I mean, nobody has to tell you that. I mean, he's as competitive a guy in the right way as I've ever come across. And, you know, he's going to play in that Pittsburgh game, that opener. And you know, I'm ready and I'm going to play. And didn't go all that well, obviously, with the five turnovers the Bengals had in that football game. But they still were in position to win that football game. And that's the last time they've lost a home game. They haven't lost since. And they got a couple of big ones coming up to finish the season, Buffalo and Baltimore in Cincinnati. And one's going to be on Monday night. And I don't know, Baltimore might be on Sunday night. Who knows? But I mean, got to go to New England first. And as a former coach, for as long as you've coached in this league, as long as you coached in college football, Jimmy, and as long as you've been in the coach profession, how much respect do you have for a guy like Bill Belichick, who has been in this league, the National Football League, for as long as he has, and won at the level that he's won?
Well, in the NFL, I mean, he's the best ever because of the Super Bowl championships. But just watching them over the years, they do a great job of scheming on defense and offense, for that matter. I mean, he was a defensive coach, but I'm sure he's in on that game plan on both sides of the ball. You're not probably ever prepared maybe for what you're going to see, because it could be totally different than what they did last week. And you know, that's the mark of a great coach, that one, you can come up with a scheme that maybe you haven't played for a few weeks, and two, that you can get it taught to the 11 guys on defense. And it's been remarkable, and I'm sure it'll be a challenge. And I'm sure Joe's excited about that challenge as well as the whole Bengal team.
You know, that's the thing, Jimmy, the chess match that's going to be coming. Bill Belichick will give you anything on any down, anywhere that he's got just a huge inventory of things that he can draw from. And getting him at this time of year, my history has been when you've played against Bill Belichick in September, he's still seeing what his team's identity might be, things they like, things they do well, things they don't. And he's kind of like tossing things out and adding other things. You get to this time of year, that's when he's honed in. He has a good feel for them. They have a good feel for him. Now he's adding things, and like you said, Jimmy, I mean, you put on tape and it's like from one week to the next, man, it's like there's not even any similarity to the defensive game plan. That's a tough dynamic to prepare for, isn't it?
It is, and he does a great job of putting his defenders and his offensive players in positions to succeed. He's very capable as a coach to come up with a game plan that you can beat a team that maybe has even better personnel. And I've seen that over the years. They got certainly great personnel, and he does a really good job of providing them with the opportunities to put pressure on offense, put pressure on a defense, and we'll see what he comes up with. People don't blitz us a whole lot, but he might come out and blitz us 15 or 20 times. Who knows? So I'm sure Zach and the coaching staff know that. They'll have to do a great job of seeing what they are, what their game plan is, and adapting to how the game's going.
I like to watch during the course of the game your son Joe come to the sideline and communicate with the coaches on the field, and then headsets go on, and the communication that's going on with up top and down below, what they're seeing up top is compared to what guys are talking about down below, and all the adjustments that go on and the adjustments to the adjustments. And I'm watching Joe's expression, and man, he's just the same look on his face. He's so focused. He's so this guy is unflappable. No matter what's going on, it might be 3 straight 3-and-outs, and he comes out and sits down and he's got the same look about him than he does after 3 straight drives that went for touchdowns, and he is so take care of business, man. This guy is the best as far as all that goes.
Yeah, he's locked in on what he did the previous series, whether like the first series the other day, he throws an interception, or even like the second half when we're scoring pretty much every possession. A lot of people comment on the TV, and I don't get a chance to watch many of the TV copies because I'm at the game, but they're that's a comment you hear quite often, is that his demeanor and his personality that he's exhibiting on the sidelines and on the bench is pretty much the same the whole time. We had one of his old high school coaches sitting behind us in Tampa, and he was warming up, and then he came to the sidelines before the game, and our discussion was about, well, that's just like he used to do in high school. So his routine stays the same.
That's really remarkable. There's no doubt about it. Did you have any opportunity, or I know he's busy, obviously, with protocol and preparation, get ready for the game, but do you think playing against Tom Brady, this would be potentially the only time that he and Tom Brady square off? He's now 6-1 against Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. And do you think he was looking forward to the matchup with Tom Brady just because of the greatness of Tom Brady? Not like, the quarterbacks aren't playing against each other, but to get the victory against a guy that is so accomplished as Tom Brady?
You have to be careful to have those emotions and think about who you're going against. So once again, just knowing Joe and looking at his comments, he did try to treat it like just any other game. But I know, and this is just a dad's perspective, I know that he respects Tom Brady and knows that he's the best ever, and knows that every quarterback that ever comes around that's a really good, potentially great quarterback is going to be compared to Tom Brady. But there's only one. Joe knows that, and I'm sure he was excited about going up against him and excited to beat him, and probably after that game even respects him even more after watching what he did that first half. I mean, he was almost perfect the first half. They ran into some issues the second half, and some of that was our defense making plays. But Joe knows who's the best ever for sure.
I thought Joe was great when he was talking about Tom Brady, and he saw Tom Brady get hit, and his helmet came off, and all that goes along with it. And he said, and he just bounced up off the ground and went back, took care of business. And he said, that's who I want to be. I want to be that kind of a tough guy physically, that tough guy mentally. And boy, is he ever in spades. I mean, that made an impression on Joe, I guess. And man, as he lived up to that declaration he made, that's who I want to be. And now that's who he is.
Yeah, Joe's always, watched a lot of football, and I think his ability to retain information from just watching games is pretty solid. And so he puts in his memory bank a lot of things, and you might think, well, that's not a big thing in the course of a game that he's watching, but in his mind it is, because it's an example of what a quarterback should be like, and what a leader of a football team should be like. So, it doesn't surprise me that he's commented on things like that before.
So as a former defensive coach and coordinator, and highly acclaimed and successful one at that, how impressed were you with the adjustments that were made, and maybe it was just honing in on better execution defensively, where the second half starts and the fake punt that's botched and not handled right, and that's a turnover. But then the GOAT gets his horns trimmed, and I mean, he's the GOAT of the game with 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles lost on 4 straight possessions, have defensive takeaways like that. Jimmy, I've never seen it at any level of football that I've watched. On 4 straight possessions. What was going through your mind as a defensive coach at that time?
Well, first of all, Lou Anarumo is the best defensive coordinator in the league, in my opinion. We've known each other for a lot of years, talked a lot of football once upon a time on the phone every week. And he does make great adjustments, which is the mark of a great coordinator. But the botched fake punt, I mean, they kind of give us that one, but we created turnovers. And sometimes an offense is playing well, and you do a few different things on defense, and all of a sudden you create those changes of possession. And that's pretty much what we did the other day. And with the guys that we've had out injury wise, guys have stepped up, and just like I said about Coach Belichick, Lou presents our guys, no matter who's out there, with opportunities to succeed, and puts them in position to make plays. And that's what happened on Sunday.
Trey Flowers' interception, I thought, was a great example of Lou. He's got 7 guys in the line of scrimmage, and then he's got 4 guys 8 yards down the football field, across the field in a picket fence look. So it's like, I'm not declaring anything. I can bring any of those 7. And then in my coverage, I'm not declaring anything where my safeties are. Everybody's at the same spot, 8 yards down the football field. So no pre-snap intel for the GOAT. And then at the snap of the ball, he only rushes 3 of them, drops 4 more into coverage, into zone coverages, and then on the back end, he's got Trey Flowers. Looks like he's going to bracket an outside receiver. Well, Brady reads it that way and throws it to his tight end, and Flowers comes off of that and reads it and cuts in front of Brady and makes the great interception. So it's like, even the GOAT, it's like, gave him no pre-snap intel, and then at the snap of the ball, 4 guys drop off from the line of scrimmage. The safety runs, to the deep middle. They got one safety back, and it's like all this going on. And I don't care how many years you played and how many games you played, you have that much time to decide what the heck to do. And boy, Lou can mess you up, can he?
A lot of people can get on the board and draw things up, but that's one thing. But Lou can then do that, and then he can be able to teach disguises, and he can be able to teach techniques in those specific disguises and those specific defenses and blitzes, and then to get the defense to execute it at a high level is tremendous that he's able to do that. And then just the next thing is, playing hard and playing fast and playing smart. And some say, well, maybe you're doing some complex things, and that's great, but you have to still be able to tackle and be able to get off blocks and take on blocks. And so, lose the whole package. And so is our defense.
Yeah. I mean, final comment or thought there. You had Lou Anarumo coaching guys where Chidobe Awuzie, his best cover corner is on injured reserve. His other corner, Cameron Taylor-Britt, goes down with a neck, either pinched nerve or a stinger kind of thing, and he's out for the rest of the game. His starting slot corner, Mike Hilton, is out with a knee problem before the game, and his two best pass rushers, Hendrickson was out before the game, Hubbard goes out during the game. Yeah. All you're losing is your two edge guys and three guys in the back end, and he's still, like you said, he has the next guy ready to go. And tribute to him and to the other guys for staying up to speed and being able to handle it mentally. He doesn't have to pare his game plan down. He can still stay sophisticated. That's big time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And you can really even go to Zach Taylor too, and the culture that he's created in the locker room that, whether you're a first team guy or a backup, you need to know what to do, and you better be ready to go, and you got to be able to perform. And I think getting the right players on the team, as a scouting department, as a general manager, as a head coach, to buy into that and not be complainers that you are the backup and that you're ready to perform. It's that's not easy at any level as a coach, and I think Zach and the whole staff have done a great job with that.
Let's go back to your son for a bit here. In the second half of the football game, 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. Now he hits all of his big 3, Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. And how about Tyler Boyd? 5 catches on 5 targets with that finger injury that was gruesome. Just a gut check deal by him. And then his 4th is to Mitchell Wilcox, who is chosen to go out there in the pregame as a captain because he's a local legend, played high school football there just miles away from the stadium, played his college football there, and he has a huge touchdown catch from Joe that basically seals the game. And Joe was saying in the locker room that, they were hoping that they get that play to Mitchell Wilcox and see how he would celebrate and everything, and the play just broke wide open. It's just to be able to distribute the ball like a point guard and man, whatever the defense gives him, he's got an answer for it, doesn't he, Jimmy? I mean, he is so smart.
I mean, he has the ability to read coverages and know if they give him that coverage, this is where I'm going with the ball, and it doesn't matter if who's in the slot. If the coverage dictates that's where he throws it, then that's where he throws it. So, really good quarterbacks do distribute the ball well. And, we're fortunate that we have a whole bunch of receivers that you can feel comfortable distributing the ball to them. But, their pregame preparation, not just Joe, but really all of those receivers to know how to adjust against zone and man and blitzes. It's a pretty special group.
2 things about Joe that impressed me as his overall leadership package is as good as I've ever seen. It's extraordinary. But the fact that he is like one of the first ones there and one of the last ones to leave, and his preparation, his protocol is just so detailed and so thorough, and players know that. But when you have your best player that wants to be coached and wants to be coached hard, all of that trickles down. Other guys are like, man, look what Joe's doing. Am I doing enough? Maybe I should get there. Joe wants to be coached. I should want to be coached. I'm going to be coached. It's like, I remember Kenny Anderson with Bill Walsh. Kenny Anderson could not get enough coaching from Bill Walsh. It seems like Joe cannot get enough good coaching, and I think that gets contagious with the entire football team as well. So he leads in ways that I think he really doesn't even realize he's leading to the extent that he's leading. It's just him.
Well, he's always wanted to be coached hard. And, if you've played for Urban Meyer and Ed Ogeron, you can take hard coaching. So he knows that's what it's all about. He wants to get better. He doesn't want to be treated any differently than anybody on the team if he makes a mistake. And, the leadership quality that he has. He's always really in all sports and every level been able to have other people raise their standard of play along with Joe, especially in pressure situations, and that's the mark of a good leader. I mean, they know what their goal is, and they know Joe's leadership can help them all get there. And Joe, he's not one of those yell, scream guys, but the way he carries himself on and off the field, I think, is a mark of a good leader.
31 touchdown passes, Jimmy, second in the NFL right now. He's also rushed for 5 more, so he's accounted for 36 touchdowns. Wow. All right, so in the fourth quarter, he's completing over 70% of his passes, 70.2%, best in the league. He's got 11 touchdown passes, best in the league. His quarterback rating is 117.9, best in the league in the fourth quarter. I mean, that's the Cincinnati Bengals in the fourth quarter have outscored the opponent by 48 points, 100-52. Your son is a big reason why. What is it about? I mean, he is focused. He's laser focused. But when it's go time in the fourth quarter, I mean, he even takes it up a notch, doesn't he, focus-wise?
Yeah, I think, just mental toughness, ability to elevate your game when pressure situations, that's a true definition of that. And of that whole group and that whole team, they're mentally tough. And one thing Joe has mentioned to me, and I've seen it in media, is that all those guys on that offense, and I'm sure defensively too, are really smart. So you roll into the fourth quarter, and you've pretty much processed what they're going to do on really both sides of the ball. And I think that's how you see our offense and our defense elevate their level of play, because they're smart. They've made adjustments. Credit certainly goes to the coaches, because they're seeing what they're doing. They're making adjustments on the sidelines, and all of a sudden you're just not seeing different things for the most part, and you're able to kind of diagnose, maybe pre-snap read what you're going to see, and that helps you be pretty successul in the fourth quarter, and in red zone too. And you got to be able to get down there and score. And same thing. I mean, they do spend a lot of time in the red zone, and they're smart, and they know how to make adjustments to what the teams are giving them.
No question about it. And to your point, in the red zone offensively, the Cincinnati Bengals have been in the red zone 50 times, 34 touchdowns. That's 68% touchdown rate, fourth best in the National Football League. That's getting it done. The thing, Joe, in the 6-game winning streak, the offensive line has given up 8 sacks in 6 games. And Joe was so supportive of the offensive line. And I mean, as a former lineman, I'm talking to the offensive line, and we're talking turkey, and they knew they could play better. They knew that they were, putting Joe in jeopardy too many times. But they so appreciated the fact that Joe supported them, was undaunting in his support of them, never varied whatsoever. And now they're playing, now they've got their rhythm. They understand each other a little bit. It's not like they couldn't get it done. They just needed a little time on task to be able to get there. Now they're there, and man, they think the world of Joe Burrow. They love Joe Burrow. Well,
he comments on this quite often when there is criticism of the offensive line. There's 11 guys out there, and sometimes the O-line may look like on TV that it was somebody in that group's problem or fault, but maybe it really wasn't. And so Joe knows that, and he's not perfect all the time. Neither are the offensive line, receivers, running back, and so it's a group effort. Joe knows that. The coaching staff again has taken things that maybe weren't working earlier in the year, and you either tweak those to make them better, or you throw some things out. And again, back to Belichick, doing things that put your players in a position to be successful. And I think Zach has done that on offense, and certainly Lou on defense also.
I did have a chance last week to talk with Zach about what we're talking about in terms of having intelligent players like the receivers. Jamar Chase can line up anywhere. Other receivers can line up anywhere interchangeably, in terms of the mental part of it. And Jamar runs routes better than anybody in any of those spots. But to have that kind of a mentality and that kind of a mindset, it gives you all this versatility, in your game plan and matchup versatility and all that. And he said, well, I was part of that with the Rams. Sean McVay did that offensively, and it was like, wow, that's dynamite.
Yeah.
Well, when I came to Cincinnati, I wanted to be able to do it offensively and defensively. And I knew Lou Anarumo had that same type of mindset and philosophy. And now we've gathered over a couple of drafts and a couple of free agencies players we can do that with. And I think they feel like they're about as diverse from players being able to play multiple positions as there is in the National Football League on both sides of the football. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, character and intelligence makes a difference on a football team. And if you're looking, whether it's a draft or free agents, they have to have the character to be willing to play numerous positions and want to do it. And you have to have the intelligence to be able to line up at different positions. And I think they've done a great job of putting together a team of those type guys. And really, just the way I see it, they're so close, that football team. You don't want to let the guys down on either side of the ball. So you go a little extra to be prepared. You go a little extra to say, hey, if you want me to do it, if you want me to play another position, I'm all for it. If you want me to line up and block as a receiver, I'm going to do it. So, just really, again, all goes back to the culture that I think exists on that football team right now.
Yeah, that's such a powerful thing. I remember, playing with teams, and when you had a good team and you had a good dynamic like you're talking about, it's like you did not want to be the guy that let your teammates down. It's if you didn't block your guy as an offensive lineman, oh man, it was like you wanted to get up in front of not just the offensive line, but the whole team and say, that'll never happen again. I'm so sorry. I don't want to, it'll never happen again. Now, teams that weren't so good, if a guy missed a block or he'd just go out drinking anyway with his buddies and could give a damn, and that's the difference between having a good group and a good football team and not. And it's powerful, right? I mean, it's everybody's human beings. It's just, it's the study in human nature. That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. You when things are going bad, you can't dwell on the blame game and start saying, well, that's not my fault, it's somebody else's. As I said, 11 guys are responsible for a football play, and everybody's got to be on the same page. And sometimes it doesn't work, and you just kind of buckle up and say we're going to do better. And this football team certainly does that. There's been bumps in the road. We haven't been perfect along the way, but I think everybody's willing. That whole team is willing to learn and to listen and to get better. And we've been able to do that most every week.
And finally, Jimmy, let me get you out of here on this. And actually, I got one question, and I got one other thing to ask you about. Dealing with adversity, and this team has dealt with adversity, like we talked about. The opening game, there was adversity. There was adversity being down by 17 points to a good football team, and then by 14 points at the half, and then coming back and winning that football game by double-digit points. I mean, so those kind of things, those learned experiences, it's like, oh, we've been here, we've done that, we can do it again. I mean, those kind of things help build confidence too, right? Yeah,
the experience in making comebacks is huge. You don't want to spend a lot of time getting experienced in that way. But I think from what I understand, just the preparation to put yourselves in a position, no matter what the score is, to execute is huge. I mean, it's pretty easy to go out there when you're 14-0 and just play loose and kind of wing it and have a great time. But when you're 17-0, you better have discipline and mental toughness and the will to want to do whatever it takes to get better. And we're very capable of that. I wish we would start out faster than we do at times. I'm sure everybody else does too, but sometimes that's not the case. And we're able to bounce back. And once again, credit to the culture in the locker room and the character of the guys on that football team.
You're right, Jimmy. And when they score first, they're 7-0. When they have a lead after the first quarter, they're 6-0. So when they start out fast, it works well, but
that's good.
Happens every week. It's just, that's the nature of the beast. And again, carving time for us around the holiday season like this is greatly appreciated. And I know around the holiday season, the Burrow family gives back, not just the holiday season, but all year long. And Joe's got a foundation that you and Robin are very much involved with. And I know this time of year, there are less fortunate out there and on a year-round basis, there are less fortunate out there. What can you tell us? What's the latest with the foundation? How's everything going in that regard, sir?
It's going great. I mean, there's a lot of things we want to continue to do. There's a lot to a foundation, and we have a lot of good people that are involved in making it work. Joe's comment: everybody has the responsibility to do good. People trust in that, believe in that, and you see this is one of the sweatshirts that says "Do good," and we want to do good, and we're going to continue to help families with food insecurities in Louisiana and Ohio, and we're going to be able to continue to help families that are have children with mental health issues. They're struggling to pay bills, and so it's been well received. People are jumping on board all over. You can go to joeburrow.org to read more about it, and anything people can do financially to help. Eventually, we'll have different things that people can always also volunteer to help. And if you do give financially, then we certainly consider you part of Joe's Foundation's team. And everybody. Take a look at joeburrow.org. Everybody have happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we look forward to the future of the Bengals and future of the Joe Burrow Foundation.
That's awesome, Jimmy. And everybody can't be part of the Joe Burrow's team with the Bengals, but everybody can be part of Joe Burrow's team with respect to the foundation. There's no two ways about that. You guys are doing great things. You're an unbelievable family. Man, you have to be so proud of your son and your family in entirety, and you must sleep well at night, my man. I'll tell you what, you and Robin, you're blessed.
We appreciate those kind words, Dave, and I look forward to seeing you again here. We are proud of Joe. We love that he's a member of the Cincinnati Bengals and part of the community in Cincinnati, and we know he's going to be there for a long time, and we're proud of that too.
Have the merriest Christmas and the happiest New Year you've ever had, Jimmy.
All right, Who Day. Let's get another one this week.
Who Day, baby. 7 in a row. Here we go.
Thanks, Dave.
You're the best. Thank you, Jimmy.
All right.
At First Star Logistics, we're a very strict company that really puts the pressure on our employees. Breaks? What are those?
That's what I'm talking about, Icky. Get the body right, then the mind's right.
Gotta get that body right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Become a star with a chance to earn the highest commission percentages in the industry as a freight broker agent. Check out firststarlogistics.com.